Hello everybody, and not much has changed from the past few days. Nala is still resting a lot, frequent urination, small and gradual increases in the size of her mammary glands underneath for when she starts, I guess, producing milk, as I like to call it, just to make it a little more universal and for more people to understand. What this video here is about is going to be a first and last video. It's going to be the first time we really get into a deep discussion about this and talk about this, and it's going to be the last, because I am not going on and on and on and on about something in every other video, just trying to educate people that are being a bit, what is the nicest and kindest way to say this, but being not so open-minded, I guess, to mixed breed dogs, staying a bit closed-minded, not really understanding, I guess, breeders versus shelters, not understanding really purebreds versus mixed breeds and the differences, similarities, and all those situations. Now, we are not anti any of those. We are pro purebred, we are pro mixed breed, we are pro shelter, and we are pro breeders. We respect all. We understand that some people have one bad experience with one of those situations. I guess, like the old saying goes, one bad apple ruins a bunch, which is really sad, and I feel sorry for you, and my heart goes out to you that you had a bad experience if you did with any of those situations. We did with certain ones, but will that ever deter us? No, absolutely not. We absolutely enjoy lots of different breeders who specialize in purebreds, as well as those who specialize in mixed breeds. We also had bad experiences with both parties in both those types of dogs. Now, we also had good experience with breeders, bad experience with certain breeders, good experience with shelters, and we had some bad experience with certain shelters. But again, like I said, it's not going to deter me from respecting other people and other organizations, and it's just not our, I guess, not me and my husband's personalities or characteristics. We like to be very open-minded, very respectful of everybody, and we try not to be judgmental of what anybody else does. Just like this video, it's going to be focused a lot on mixed dogs. Now, please know we do highly respect purebred dogs, and I highly respect those who do breed purebred dogs. This isn't what it's about. I'm just trying to educate more people on the mixed breed, because I find a lot of people, especially after the 80s and 90s, when Paris Hilton had the little purebred Chihuahua, and the, I guess, higher class community ended up starting up different types of organizations and just saying purebred is the dog of all dogs, and a lot of people started gravitating and thinking that's all you have to have and that's all you need and this is the best of the best. Things have changed, times have changed, people have become more aware of the upsides and downsides of the purebred as well as the mixed breed. People have become more aware of the ups and downs of those as well. It all depends on personal preference, as I said in another video. But anyway, let's get into this video. Let's start discussing it while Miss Molly is kind of asleep. If you guys don't know, dogs actually have more than one eyelid, so she's asleep, but for prey, they think she's awake. But she's not. She's actually sound asleep right now. But here we go. Let's get into this video. Let's start discussing and talking about it. And yeah, she's still got that dry patch. I've been putting stuff on it that I got for dogs in terms of this here who have dry skin. I also did it last time when she ended up getting this, and the only time she gets this is when she's pregnant. She never gets this when she's not pregnant. But anywho, let's get into it and I guess try to educate some people on mixed breed dogs. If you already know all this, I'm truly sorry. If you're just watching this for the sake of just watching it because you love Miss Nalaby, then thank you so much. But here we go. So when you have a mixed dog, you're usually mixing two or more separate gene pools. The recessive genes that carry the health problems end up getting buried, which means you end up having a healthier dog, healthier than purebreds, and typically require fewer vet visits, which, guys, ching, hi pretty girl, which means less money spent. And it also means a better immune system for your dog. So for anyone who was like anti-mixed dog, maybe this will be like kind of a wake-up call. If you want to save some money and you're looking for a dog with a good immune system, usually mixed dogs are pretty good. Every dog's health is unique, and I understand that. But you also have to realize science has proven mixed breeds are often more so healthier than purebreds. Because, guys, purebred dogs have a limited gene pool. So, as I stated earlier, because of this, where you're mixing them over and over and over, the genetic disorders then start to arise from generation and generation and generation, and it will just continue because you're just breeding the same type of dog over and over again. So, same type of breed of dog, I should say. Now, like I said, this isn't all me saying, oh, the mixed dog is actually superior to the purebred dog, because disorders can often attribute to a specific purebred and are just as likely to be found in a mixed breed. The big ones, a lot of us know that both mixed breeds and purebreds end up having is hip dysplasia, cardiac issues, and so forth. Overall, guys, like, mixed dogs are also smarter as a whole. Now, there are purebreds that individual are smarter than mixed breed dogs, but this is as a whole, and this is only from a test that was conducted in California, that mixed dogs, I think it was like scored 463, where purebreds scored 417 in a test that was conducted. And it was overall, it was a bunch of different mixed breed dogs and a bunch of different purebred dogs. So that's just from a test that was conducted in California. Now, it's also been shown in studies that mixed breeds live longer. Not by much. I don't think it's a great big margin, but they do tend to live longer. Mixed breeds do tend to have noise phobia, and it does take them more so than purebreds, it seems, to warm up to people. They will eventually, but it does take a little longer. And in case you guys weren't aware, they tend to be more laid back and less demanding because of all the conglomeration of traits. They end up being easier to train than purebreds. Sorry, purebreds, but that's just where the science and the studies end up pointing towards. Some things people might not know about purebreds: inbreeding occurs actually more so in purebreds than in mixed breeds. And a lot of people do this because they want to keep that whole persona of the purebred. That ends up causing heart defects, skin problems, blindness, deafness, things of that nature. So that is something you have to watch out for when you're going for a purebred. But like I said, there are definitely pros to purebreds. There's cons, just like there's pros of a mixed breed and there's cons of a mixed breed. But that is going to be the first and last time I go on a rant about mixed breeds. I want people to be, like I said, more open-minded to it and understanding of it, and realize that mixed breeds are just as good and loving and caring as the purebred. Times are starting to change. People are also realizing the importance of mixed breed dogs and how a mixed breed dog tends to have less health problems than the purebred, as well as they tend to have better immunes than a purebred. Not only that, I don't think some people realize with some purebred organizations, the bloodline only has to go back so far, which means before that, there is a potential and possibility that at some point they were a mixed breed. And years ago, before these other organizations decided to start up and claim that the purebred is the dog of all dogs, and it was pretty much just a quote-unquote club. I'm just going to put it out there. That's all it was. It was a club for people to brag about their dogs and make it seem like they were the best of the best. But again, to each their own, and anyone who's part of certain clubs and organizations, you know what? I respect that and I get that. I just want people to know and understand and appreciate that mixed breeds are just as great of dogs, and to respect other breeders and shelters. Did have a negative experience with both, but we also had positive experiences with both. Now, there are some breeders out there who do inbreed. I also respect and understand, and I'm going to say this right now. We are not saying anything that we are stating is wrong, not right, because some cultures, we do understand this is part of their culture. But personally, inbreeding isn't something we do, but we also know that some breeders do it. Do we personally? No. As soon as we knew we were keeping our 3 females, they were getting spayed because we had the father in the house, and that was something personally we did not want, was any inbreeding. Like I said, there are breeders who do it. That is, I guess, their choice, but personally, we don't do it. Does that make us anti-breeder? No, it does not. We also know there are a lot of great breeders who do not do that. It's also a matter of just being respectful and open-minded and understanding and not being judgmental, and that's something me and my husband certainly never want to be. You all right, honey? Is judgmental of what anybody else is doing. That is their business. And for some people to have the audacity to voice an opinion when you're not really educating yourself on it and you're staying closed-minded or jumping the conclusion about a situation, yeah, that's just not what we're about. It's not what our channel's about. We're not going to promote that. And like I said, with this video, it's going to be the first and last time we go into detail about this. I don't feel like we need to explain ourselves to other people, especially people who don't want to educate themselves on it. But anyway, back to what I was saying. There are a lot of amazing, tremendous breeders out there. Actually, I'm going to put a few links down below that we personally watch that are foster doggy owners as well as different breeders. They're amazing channels. Certainly check them out. If you don't know much about that breed, watch them and just educate yourselves on it. They're great. They're good channels, I must say. We enjoy them. And there are breeders who just do so much love and care for the animal. Like, our dogs have their own bedroom in our home. If the weather is gross, they go out, come back in. They're never forced outdoors. Like, to me, our dogs are literally an extension of our family. They're our entire world. To me, they're like my little children. So I wouldn't want to do anything to them that personally I wouldn't want done. So I don't know. We just love and care about them so much. And there are so many breeders who are like that. And that's something else I just want people to educate themselves on. Are not every breeder keeps them in the yard and neglects them and not feeds them. And I think that's something else some people need to educate themselves on. There are a lot of amazing breeders there. And there are a lot of good shelters out there that take in dogs from neglected homes, or just people who adopt them and then realize, oh, we cannot care for them, and then bring them to the shelter. But like I said, we had some experiences also with shelters that were positive and some negative. Some shelters we ended up seeing had the dogs literally on a cold, damp floor, and I actually knew one of the volunteers that ended up working in one of these shelters, and straight up told me that the dog literally was in the cage the entire day, entire night. Then they wonder why some of these dogs get out and have such behavioral issues, because they're cooped up in a cage all day and all night long. She said some of the dogs never even experience seeing toys or play or going for walks, and it's heartbreaking. And then there are other shelters that do an amazing job, and they do all of that. They take such good care of them. They take them for their walks. They take them outdoors. So that's something else. Everybody has to remain open-minded. And the thing is, too, these shelters wouldn't have any dogs if it wasn't for breeders. Not saying, not saying breeders are the reason they ended up there. And the fact people think that breeders contribute to dogs being in shelters, to me, is so far from the truth, and another reason why people need to educate themselves. Because so many breeders, yes, like I said, there are negative breeders out there that literally keep the dogs outdoors, chained up, all those things, inbreed, which I understand in some cultures is okay, and I'm not saying it's bad. Just in certain other countries, it is reflected negatively, and you know, it's all those things that these dogs end up in shelters, or people who adopt them and take them in realize they can't care for them, or some shelter owners go to certain properties and see that the dog is chained up outside someone's home. But it's not the fault of some other breeders. There are tremendously amazing, great breeders that take such good care of their animals. They do every screen check possible, but it still just so happens, and it's life, that a dog will still end up in a shelter of an adopter who just couldn't care or take care of the animal, or for whatever reason, financial, personal. It could be numerous things. But all breeders should not be shunned because of a few other breeders. All shelters should not be shunned because some shelters just don't put in the love and care and pretty much are using the shelter as a money grab, because not all shelters are like that. Not all breeders are like that. A lot of breeders do it for the love and the care of the animal. Yeah, because they absolutely adore them and care so much about them. Alright, and that is it for this video. Just wanted to explain that. Just wanted to try to educate people, but still educate. Learn. You can never do enough of it. It's there everywhere, in books, TV, computers, everywhere. Always educate yourselves on a topic, especially before you go and judge, which you should never do, in my opinion. You should never judge. Hey, girly, never ever. But anyway, that's enough for this video here today. Thank you so much for watching. I'm gonna wipe her eyes here again, and we'll see you guys hopefully tomorrow. Bye, guys.